She was 5 years old, a small girl in a sea of strangers. Houston, Texas. The lights cut out in the arena, and somewhere in the dark, a man started to move. She had never seen anything like it. She would never see anything like it again. That night, a child decided what she wanted to be, and the man on that stage, the one she would spend the next 30 years chasing, becoming, mourning, he would never know her name. Not yet. This is a story about Beyoncé, but really, it's about the person who made her possible and what it costs to love a ghost. Most people don't remember what made them. They forget the moment. They forget the room. Beyoncé never did. She has told this story for almost 20 years.
Michael. I have been a fan of Michael Jackson since I was a baby. I recently got a chance to meet him. We were doing a show for him, and he was sitting on the side of the stage, and it was time for me to sing my part. But I looked to the right, and he was right there. I couldn't sing. I had to start screaming.
Same details, same reverence. The first concert she ever attended was a Michael Jackson concert. She was 5. And in her own words, if it wasn't for Michael Jackson, I would never, ever have performed. That's not a compliment. That's an origin story. She is telling you plainly that without him, there is no her. No Destiny's Child, no Lemonade, no Renaissance, no Beyoncé. But here's the strange part. She didn't just admire him. She studied him. She copied him. She wore his clothes on the biggest stage in the world. And when he died, she was standing in the exact arena he was supposed to be playing that night. So the question isn't whether Beyoncé loved Michael Jackson. The question is, what kind of love makes you spend your whole life trying to become someone else? Houston, late 1980s. The Knowles family is middle class. Tina runs a hair salon. Matthew works in sales. Their daughter sings in the bathroom for the acoustics. There is one VHS tape in the house she rewinds more than any other. It's not Whitney. It's not Diana Ross. It's the Jackson 5, live. Michael, 11 years old, singing Who's Lovin' You? Years later, when Beyoncé starts working with her first producer, he plays her that same tape over and over. He doesn't want her to copy the notes. He wants her to copy something harder, her own words. He would have me watch that for hours, back to back to back. What he wanted me to learn was his soul. You could hear his soul. And he was this little kid who hadn't experienced love, but he was a vessel. Think about what she's saying. A child taught a child how to feel. In 1995, 4 girls walk into an audition. They call themselves Destiny's Child. They have to pick one song to convince a record label to bet on them. They pick I Wanna Be Where You Are, a Jackson 5 song. They get the deal. The future of black pop music begins with a Michael Jackson cover. He didn't know. He had no idea. 2001, Destiny's Child is the biggest girl group on the planet. Bootylicious is everywhere. And one day, a phone rings. It's him. Michael Jackson is calling Beyoncé Knowles personally, asking her to record on a charity single called What More Can I Give? Behind the scenes footage from those sessions still exists. You can hear them on the phone, the student talking to the man who, without knowing it, taught her everything. The roles flip. 2 years later, October 27th, 2003, Beyoncé walks on stage at the Radio Music Awards to present Michael Jackson with a humanitarian award. The girl from the Houston arena is now handing him a trophy. In 2006, she does it again. World Music Awards. Beyoncé introduces Michael as he accepts the Diamond Award. She is 25. He is 48. They share a stage, and privately, he notices her. According to Sean Diddy Combs on national television, Michael once crashed one of his parties for one reason. He wanted to see Beyoncé.
This time, I'm not knowing what's going on. So then I go towards the back by like where the catering was, and it's Michael. And I'm like, Michael, what's up? Like, what you doing here? And he was like, you know, I'm here with Brett Ratner. You know, we came to the party. Is everything cool? Can we come? And I was always, you know, impressed on how down to earth he was. But this is like extra down to earth. He's like asking, is it all right to come to the party? He's saying like, oh, this party's really hot. Or you got to invite me to more of your parties. And then he leans over to me. We taking some pictures. He leans over to me. He's like, where's Beyonce? And I'm like, I didn't think I heard him correctly. He's like, you know, I heard she's here. Where's Beyonce? And I'm like, okay, hold on, let me go find out where she's at. So I run up on B. B is on
King of Pop walking into a room he wasn't invited to, looking for the girl who learned soul from his old tapes. She doesn't say a word about it publicly. She never trades on the friendship. She never sells the story. There's a reason for that. The press wanted dirt. The press wanted her to distance herself from him during the controversies. She refused. Every interview, every award show, the same line. He's my biggest influence. He changed me. He's the reason. And then, June 25th, 2009, Beyoncé is in London. She is on the I Am World Tour. She's supposed to play the O2 Arena, but there's a problem. The O2 Arena is not really her venue that month. It was booked months in advance for a different artist. 50 sold-out shows, the biggest comeback in music history. Michael Jackson's This Is It residency. He never makes it. That afternoon in Los Angeles, paramedics are called to a house on Carrollwood Drive. Cardiac arrest. They work on him for hours. Michael Jackson is pronounced dead at 2:26 p.m. Pacific time.
This is what's being reported by KTLA. Apparently, Michael Jackson suffered cardiac arrest this afternoon. He was rushed to UCLA Medical Center
at 12:21 this afternoon.
And Beyoncé has a show that night on his stage. She walks out on the O2 stage, the same stage he should be on. The crowd doesn't know what to expect. She doesn't say much, she doesn't need to. A photo of Michael appears on the screen behind her, old footage from one of his concerts, late 1980s. Right around the time a 5-year-old in Houston was watching him for the first time. The band starts Halo, but the lyrics aren't right. She sings, "Michael, I can see your halo. I pray your music won't fade away." She changes the song. She turns a love song into a eulogy in real time on his stage, the night he was supposed to perform. And here's the part nobody talks about. Footage of her as a little girl getting ready for her first concert. That footage starts playing on the screen behind her. She filmed it. She kept it. For 30 years, she kept the tape of the night she went to see him. That's not a tribute. That's not a cover. That's a circle closing. The student doesn't replace the teacher. She doesn't try. She just stands where he was supposed to stand and gives the audience what they came for, because somebody had to. 7 years pass. February 7th, 2016, Super Bowl 50. Levi's Stadium, the biggest television audience of the year. Coldplay is the headliner, but nobody is watching Coldplay. Beyoncé walks out wearing a black and gold military jacket with a leather harness across the chest. Her dancers wear black berets, Black Panthers. The references are everywhere. Civil rights, Hurricane Katrina. The new single is called Formation, and it includes a line that if you blink, you miss. I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils. But it's the jacket people remember. January 31st, 1993, Pasadena, California, Super Bowl 27. Michael Jackson takes the field in a black and gold military jacket. He stands frozen on stage for almost 2 minutes before he sings a single note. It is the performance that turned the Super Bowl halftime show from a marching band into the biggest stage in the world. 23 years later, Beyoncé wears the same jacket, the same harness, the same silhouette. When asked about it on Extra, she says one word. It was. Then she adds, "It's the 50th anniversary, so I gave love to my favorite performer." Her stylist Marnie Senofonte confirms it. They studied his 1993 outfit, they built hers from his. Think about what's happening here. Michael Jackson invented the modern Super Bowl halftime show. Beyoncé walks onto the 50th anniversary version dressed as him and steals it from the actual headliner. She doesn't perform a Michael Jackson song. She doesn't need to. She is the Michael Jackson song. And here's the irony she's been building toward her entire life. She spent 30 years trying to honor him, to pay tribute, to say thank you, and the only way she could really do it, the only honor he would have understood, was to take his place. Remember the 5-year-old? The girl in the Houston arena, the one who decided in the dark what she wanted to be. She got it. She got everything. Grammys, stadiums, Super Bowls, billions. She became, by almost every measure, the Michael Jackson of her generation. But there is a cost to building yourself out of someone else. Every time she wears the jacket, every time she sings the lyric, every time she stands on his stage, she is also reminding the world of what we lost. She's the proof that he existed and the proof that he is gone. She wrote it herself on her website on the 5th anniversary of his death. 8 words that don't sound like much until you really read them. Michael Jackson changed me and helped me to become the artist I am. Thank you, Michael. She didn't say influenced. She said changed. The little girl in Houston walked into that arena one person and walked out another. And every stage she has set foot on since. Every Super Bowl, every world tour, every Halo, she has been singing for 2 people. The one she became and the one who never knew her name.